Hi there, this is Lee, and I'm talking about Jill Stein with this video. Most of you have already seen the debate that occurred between Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. And I don't know if you've had a chance to watch the live stream of Jill Stein. She inserted herself into debate footage via live stream. She used Periscope, Twitter, and Facebook Live to do that. If you haven't had a chance to see Jill Stein respond to presidential debate questions while she was at Hofstra in a satellite location, you can actually watch footage of that. I believe it's on still on her Facebook page, and then also at Periscope too. If it's not at her Facebook page or Twitter, you can find it on Periscope TV, and I'll remember to put a link to that in the description for you. It's really important to hear Jill Stein as a third party option because 76% of the respondents to a USA Today poll said they wanted a third party option inside the debates to discuss policy issues. The debate commission claimed that they provided the very best information on public affairs during the debates. The 76% of the people found that their information that they provided via Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton and constricting the debate format, excluding not only Jill Stein but also Gary Johnson, that they were not providing the very best information possible. So you'll be able to get additional response, additional information, complete information from Jill Stein via her social media footage. She showed up at the campus with about I'm not sure how many, but supporters of the Green Party and her debate and her inclusion in the debates, they showed up with her to engage in the protest. According to the words of Jella Biafra, who said, "Don't hate the corporate media, become the media." That's what guided Jill Stein's decision to insert herself into the debate using Twitter and Periscope and Facebook Live. And so she tweeted out her answers as they were asked and did the live stream, and that was on Twitter. And she actually opened up, after the debate was over, she opened up her Twitter page for a Twitter town hall where she took questions from people on her Twitter page. So that's how she handled that. I also have notification from Victor Tiffany. He started the Revolt Against Plutocracy, the Bernie or Bust movement, which has become Jill or Bust now, because he's supporting the Progressive Party platform, which has migrated. Well, it's always been with the Green Party and Jill Stein, but plenty of standard supporters migrated over to Jill Stein's side of the aisle as well. And so, in addition to Jill Stein's footage of her participating in the debate, she will also be on Democracy Now, which is on a cable channel. She will be on Democracy Now with Gary Johnson, and that's going to be at 8 o'clock in the morning Eastern Central Time or Eastern Standard Time. If you miss it, if you've got other obligations that you have to take care of, you can still watch that footage online. There will be a link of Jill Stein's appearance, her post-debate recap or participation on Democracy Now. There will be a link to that too. And as soon as that link is available, I'll try to remember to also add that to the description. But Victor Tiffany is requesting people to spread the word about Jill Stein's appearances, participating in the debates, and then also her appearance on Democracy Now! He's saying to pull out all of your email resources, all of your contacts that you've made, and share this information with them. And this is how you get around the corporate media. He's saying that if you've been building lists to get those addresses, if you use Twitter, you can request questions of Stein and Johnson to Democracy Now! At Democracy Now! And they want to continue to build support for Dr. Stein. And so, Jill or Bust, they're creating a new website, and it should be launching in about 48 hours, and it's called Who's Jill Stein? And there's going to be a link to that too as soon as it's made available from Victor Tiffany. So there'll be some links already in the description, and then some will be coming as soon as they're known via Victor Tiffany. So right now he's saying that there's a video of Keith Olbermann saying 176 reasons Donald Trump should not be president. Victor Tiffany has created a companion monologue, 72 Reasons Why Clinton Should Not Become President. And that's going to be on the Who's Jill Stein webpage now, too. So, Jill or Bust is throwing their weight behind the Jill Stein campaign, really doing a full court press on social media, which is great. That's how you get around corporate media. Use the people's media. But also the Jill Stein campaign is not going to overlook the ground game opportunity. There's going to be a call of action to people on the ground, also called grassroots supporters. They need people to additionally run campaigns for Jill Stein, the Green Party, and down ballot candidates in each state. Jill Stein is available for voting in 48 states. In those 48 states, she needs a ground campaign of door knocking, flyering, talking to organizations, social media outreach, college level outreach to students, anywhere people gather or where you see an opportunity to flip voters. And not just from a Libertarian Party or Democratic Party or Republican Party. It's an opportunity if you put up a sign in your yard, if you hand out flyers, if you do some door knocking and phone baking, some social media outreach. This is how you also flip indifferent voters or independent, and then people who have checked out of the political process altogether. You can convince them to re-register to vote if they're not registered. You can convince them that this is worth getting out of bed for and voting, that the Green Party platform is something that might inspire them to climb over the wall of indifference and cast a vote. Similarly to the way that Bernie Sanders convinced people to come out and support him, that even though they were burned, that they can also burn green in the general election. If they burned for Bernie in the primary, that they can still burn green fire in the general election. That there is a third party option. There's a candidate and a party that truly welcomes their voice and their vote. And then also, if they're interested, they can even throw their hats into the ring for the 2018 midterm elections. It's just around the corner. I've done a video on that. They want you to contact your state Green Party if you're interested in voting. In voting and learning more information about voting this election, but also participating and running for office yourself. So that's kind of some recent updates on what's been happening and the efforts that are being made. Also, there are some events coming up because Jill Stein is moving her campaign out of the New England area. She's been concentrating her focus on the New England states. She's going down to Florida to spread the word about her campaign. She's going to be in Tampa on Wednesday, which is tomorrow from the recording of this video, September 28th at 6:30 p.m. She's going to be at the Cuban Club, and several hundred people have already signed up. About 428 people have RSVP. There'll likely be more who just show up to see what the Green Party is all about, what Jill Stein has to say. She'll also be in Sarasota, Florida, Thursday, September 29th at noon. She'll be at the Robert L. Taylor Community Center in Sarasota, Florida. And again, people have been signing up for that event, but you can just show up if you want to. She's also going to be in Florida, Orlando, Florida, Thursday, September 29th at 6 p.m. The Flamboyant Banquet Hall at Acacia's El Centro Boriceno. And several hundred people have already signed up for that too, 273. And then she'll be in Miami on Friday, September 30th at 6 o'clock p.m. And that's going to be at Miami-Dade College. And about 400 people have already signed up for that event too. But I'm sure more will be showing up by Friday as local media announce her presence in Florida. So I've spoken about Stephanie Anderson, the green-leaning independent who has emerged from under the radar. She had put herself on the ballot to run against Debbie Wasserman Schultz, her congressional seat, even as far back as 2015. And she'd been kind of under the radar, and she'd actually been removed from the ballot because she didn't pay the ballot tax, which I believe was 10% of Debbie Wasserman's salary, and she couldn't afford to hire petitioners. So now she's running as a write-in candidate. She put herself back on the ballot as a write-in candidate, a green-leaning write-in candidate for Debbie Wasserman Schultz's 23rd district seat in Florida. And hopefully she'll be able to participate in some of these events and introduce herself to even more voters via Jill Stein's campaign and get some Jill Stein tailwinds and coattails running her into office. Debbie Wasserman Schultz is a tough candidate. She had the President of the United States coming down during the primary to help her defeat Tim Canova. And not only just the President, Joe Biden, Nancy Pelosi, Hillary Clinton. So she had an all-star team protecting her congressional seat, but her seat is still not safe. Stephanie Anderson is still in the mix, still running for her seat on a green-leaning independent party platform. So there's lots of stuff going on at the top of the ticket, and then also down ballot with down ballot candidates, and then also at the grassroots level. Those of you who cannot make the Jill Stein events or are not in a state where Jill Stein is able to come personally, that doesn't mean that you have to wait for instruction from the campaign in order to do your grassroots information distribution or organizing. You can set up your own events in your state, in your community, whether you're in Montana, Utah, if you're in Colorado or Iowa, wherever you are, if you're in Mississippi, you can set up your own green events there and just let people know about the Green Party, about Jill Stein, and any down ballot candidates that are in your area. This is important because they're trying to maintain green on the ballot. And that's why in some states there's a volunteer coordinator who's going to be contacting people and telling them ways in which they can do their ground game, door knocking, helping people register to vote, convincing people to come off the fence and pick a team, hopefully a green team, and then also getting over the barrier of indifference and disgust with the political process, largely inspired by Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton, and let them know that there is a third party option. The independents of this nation make up about 50 to 60% of the electorate now. There's been so much demexiting where people have left the Democratic Party because of what occurred during the primary race. That there's a large group who have checked out. But if you let them know that Jill Stein is an option through your email list, through your direct contact with your organizations, with your flyering, these are things that you can accomplish on the ground and let them know. So it's moving forward, as Jill Stein says, it's in our hands. She's not resting on her laurels. If someone puts a barrier, she goes around it. Rather than hate the media, she's becoming the media. So these are options that we can use too as well. And if you're interested at all in running for office for the 2018 midterm election, and that's also one reason why they're very much dedicated to keeping green on the ballot, which means people have to vote this election for the Greens in order to keep green on the ballot. If you're interested, this is for the down ballot candidates so they can run and you can be one of them. You can contact the Jill Stein campaign. You can contact your state's Green Party, or you can contact one of the organizers connected with the campaign. And I'll leave all that information in the description. And then some more information will be forthcoming from Victor Tiffany, his links too as well. Lots of stuff going on, lots of information going out, coming in and then going out. And it's hard to keep up, but it's something that should, kind of feel welcome because information is power. And I think that's why 76% of the respondents to that poll wanted a third party option in the debate. Information is power, and that's definitely what Jill Stein has been providing. Definitely check out her debate responses if you get a chance. Thank you.